The ocean roared with fury, its waves crashing against the jagged cliffs of the coastal village of Amani. The elders whispered of the Sea King's wrath, a curse brought upon them by the greed of fishermen who had overstepped their bounds. Nia, a lonely mermaid with shimmering scales the color of twilight, watched from the depths as her people suffered. The elders had made a decision, to offer a bride to the Sea King in exchange for peace. Nia, with no family to protest, was chosen. Her heart ached as she prepared to leave the only home she had ever known, but she knew her sacrifice would save her people. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Nia swam toward the abyss, where the Sea King's palace lay hidden in the darkest depths. The journey was treacherous, the water growing colder and darker with every stroke of her tail. Strange creatures with glowing eyes watched her pass, their whispers echoing in her mind. Nia's heart pounded as she approached the palace, a towering structure of coral and obsidian. The gates creaked open, and she was greeted by an eerie silence. Inside, the Sea King awaited her, his form shrouded in shadows. Nia's voice trembled as she spoke her vows, her tears mingling with the salt water. Little did she know, her voice would soon become the key to unlocking a mystery that had plagued the ocean for centuries. The wedding ceremony was brief, conducted in a grand hall adorned with bioluminescent algae and pearls. The Sea King, a towering figure with eyes like storm clouds, remained silent throughout. Nia's heart raced as she tried to read his expression, but his face was unreadable. As the ceremony ended, the Sea King led her to his chambers, a cavernous room filled with treasures from sunken ships. Nia's eyes widened at the sight of a golden chest resting on a pedestal, its surface etched with ancient runes. The Sea King gestured toward it, his voice a low rumble. "This chest holds my heart," he said. "Without it, I am bound to this form, unable to feel or love." Nia's breath caught in her throat. She reached out to touch the chest, but the Sea King stopped her. "Only a voice pure of heart can open it," he explained. "But beware, for the chest is guarded by a curse. If you fail, you will lose your voice forever." Nia's mind raced as she realized the enormity of the task before her. She had always been told her voice was her greatest gift, but now it was her only hope. As the Sea King left her alone in the chamber, Nia stared at the chest, her resolve hardening. She would free him, no matter the cost. The next morning, Nia awoke to the sound of whispers echoing through the palace. She followed the sound to a chamber filled with mirrors, each reflecting a different version of herself. A voice boomed from the shadows, challenging her to prove her worth. "Sing," it commanded, "and let the mirrors judge your heart." Nia hesitated, her voice trembling as she began to sing a lullaby her mother had taught her. The mirrors shimmered, and one by one, they cracked, revealing hidden passages. But as she reached the final mirror, her voice faltered. The mirror remained intact, its surface cold and unyielding. Nia's heart sank as she realized she had failed the first trial. The voice laughed, a cruel sound that echoed in her ears. "You are not yet ready," it said, "but you may try again tomorrow." Nia returned to her chambers, her spirit bruised but unbroken. She knew she had to dig deeper, to find the strength within herself to succeed. That night, she dreamed of her mother, whose voice had once soothed the waves. "Your voice is more powerful than you know," her mother whispered. "Use it not just to sing, but to speak your truth." Nia awoke with a newfound determination. She would not fail again. The following day, Nia returned to the Chamber of Mirrors, her voice steady and clear. This time, as she sang, the final mirror shattered, revealing a hidden staircase leading deeper into the palace. At the bottom of the stairs, she found herself in a cavern filled with glowing crystals. In the center of the cavern stood the golden chest, its runes pulsating with light. But between her and the chest stood a massive sea serpent, its scales glistening like polished obsidian. The serpent's eyes locked onto hers, and it spoke in a voice that reverberated through the water. "To pass, you must answer my riddle," it said. "What is more precious than gold, yet cannot be held?" Nia's mind raced as she considered the riddle. She thought of her people, of the Sea King's tormented soul, and of the love she had yet to find. "It is love," she answered, her voice firm. The serpent's eyes softened, and it bowed its head, allowing her to pass. Nia approached the chest, her heart pounding. She placed her hands on its surface, feeling the warmth of the runes beneath her fingers. But as she prepared to sing, a sudden doubt crept into her mind. What if her voice wasn't enough? What if she failed? She pushed the thought aside and began to sing, her voice filling the cavern with light. As Nia's song reached its crescendo, the chest began to tremble, its golden surface cracking like ice. A blinding light erupted from within, and Nia felt a surge of energy course through her body. But just as the chest began to open, a dark shadow emerged, wrapping itself around her like a vice. The voice of the curse hissed in her ear, threatening to steal her voice forever. Nia's song faltered, and the light dimmed. She realized the curse was feeding on her fear, growing stronger with every note she sang. Desperate, Nia closed her eyes and focused on the love she felt for her people, for the Sea King, and for the ocean itself. She poured every ounce of that love into her song, her voice rising above the darkness. The shadow began to dissipate, its hold on her weakening. With a final powerful note, the chest burst open, revealing a glowing heart encased in crystal. The curse was broken, and the cavern filled with a warm golden light. Nia collapsed to the floor, exhausted but triumphant. She had done it. She had freed the Sea King's heart. Nia lay on the cavern floor, her body trembling from the effort of breaking the curse. The glowing heart pulsed gently, its light casting soft shadows on the walls. As she reached out to touch it, the crystal casing dissolved, and the heart floated into the air. It drifted toward the entrance of the cavern, and Nia followed, her tail flicking weakly as she swam. The heart led her back to the Sea King's chambers, where he stood waiting, his expression unreadable. As the heart approached him, it merged with his chest, and a gasp escaped his lips. His stormy eyes softened, and for the first time, Nia saw a flicker of emotion in them. The Sea King fell to his knees, his hands clutching his chest as if he were feeling his heartbeat for the first time in centuries. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice trembling. "You have given me back my soul." Nia swam closer, her heart swelling with relief and pride. But as she looked into his eyes, she saw a deep sadness that mirrored her own. The Sea King reached out to her, his hand brushing against her cheek. "You have done what no one else could," he said. "But the journey is not over. There are still secrets to uncover, and dangers to face." With his heart restored, the Sea King began to change. His once dark form shimmered with light, and his voice grew warmer. He told Nia of a forgotten kingdom beneath the waves, a place of beauty and magic that had been lost to time. "The curse that bound my heart was cast by an ancient enemy," he explained. "To truly break it, we must journey to the heart of the kingdom and confront the one who cursed me." Nia listened intently, her curiosity piqued. She had always dreamed of exploring the ocean's mysteries, and now she had the chance. The Sea King led her through a hidden passage in the palace, revealing a vast underwater landscape filled with towering coral structures and glowing sea creatures. As they swam, Nia felt a sense of wonder she had never known before. But the beauty of the kingdom was marred by signs of decay, cracked statues, overgrown ruins, and a lingering sense of sorrow. The Sea King's expression darkened as they approached a massive gate adorned with carvings of merfolk and sea gods. "This is the entrance to the heart of the kingdom," he said. "But beware, for it is guarded by the spirits of those who once ruled here." The gate creaked open as Nia and the Sea King approached, revealing a chamber filled with swirling mist. The spirits of the ancient merfolk emerged, their translucent forms glowing with an eerie light. They circled Nia and the Sea King, their voices a haunting melody. "To pass, you must prove your worth," one of the spirits intoned. "Answer this: what is the greatest power in the ocean?" Nia thought carefully, her mind racing through the lessons she had learned from her people. She remembered the stories of love, courage, and sacrifice that had been passed down through generations. "The greatest power is unity," she answered. "The ocean is vast and diverse, but it is strongest when its creatures work together." The spirits paused, their glowing eyes fixed on her. Then, as one, they bowed their heads and stepped aside, allowing her and the Sea King to pass. Nia felt a surge of pride, but the Sea King's expression remained grim. "The hardest part is yet to come," he warned. "The one who cursed me awaits in the heart of the kingdom, and they will not give up their power easily." The chamber beyond the gate was unlike anything Nia had ever seen. It was a vast, circular room with walls made of living coral that pulsed with light. In the center stood a throne made of pearls, and seated upon it was a figure cloaked in shadows. As Nia and the Sea King approached, the figure rose, revealing a mermaid with eyes like molten gold. "So you have come at last," she said, her voice dripping with malice. "Did you think breaking the curse would be enough to defeat me?" Nia's heart raced as she realized the truth. This mermaid, once a queen of the ocean, had cursed the Sea King out of jealousy and greed. She had sought to control the ocean's power, but her actions had led to the kingdom's downfall. The Sea King stepped forward, his voice steady. "Your reign ends here," he said. "The ocean will no longer suffer under your tyranny." The queen laughed, a sound that sent shivers down Nia's spine. "We shall see," she sneered. "But first, you must face the final trial." The queen raised her hands, and the chamber began to shift. The walls closed in, and the water grew thick and heavy. Nia felt as though she were drowning, her breath coming in short gasps. The queen's voice echoed in her mind, taunting her. "You think you are strong, but you are nothing compared to me." Nia closed her eyes, focusing on the love and courage that had brought her this far. She began to sing, her voice cutting through the oppressive darkness. As she sang, the chamber began to brighten, the coral walls glowing with renewed life. The queen's power waned, her form flickering like a dying flame. The Sea King joined Nia, his voice blending with hers in a harmonious duet. Together, they sang of hope, love, and the strength of unity. The queen screamed, her form dissolving into light. The curse was finally broken, and the kingdom began to heal. Nia and the Sea King stood together, their voices echoing through the ocean as a new era dawned. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.